Symptoms are very tricky. Mostly the dogs cannot, the dogs are disoriented. It's not always that there has to be, the dog has to be ferocious. There are two forms of rabies. One is dumb form and one is the ferocious form. First, you take a basic precautions about your safety, as in use gloves, take proper vaccinations, say anti-rabies vaccinations beforehand, because see, detecting rabies is a very tricky thing, and sometimes even vets are confused about whether the dog is rabid or not, and to be judging the dog looking from the far and trying to rescue him, and if he's got a rabies, there's no cure for rabies. Not in animals, not for humans. There's no cure. So you are putting your own life at risk by doing all these things. So if you want to do it, thoda paisa kharcha kar do. Or there are government hospitals who give anti-rabies vaccines for free. Try to get anti-rabies vaccines for yourself, and keep on taking one vaccine a year, so that there won't be any chances of getting rabies. Or basically it's a rabies, बाकी तो disease कैसे भी cure हो सकते हैं, rabies has no cure. So first and foremost, your safety first. Then as Vivek said, take a help of local people whenever you want to rescue this thing, because a lot of people may be knowing the dogs locally. So try to take their help so that you scare the dog, injured dog least, and the people can help you handle the dogs better. I would suggest, if you want to become a serious rescuer, then you should have a first aid kit ready with you. See, a small box containing some steroids, basically to prevent shocks, or if it's a poisoning. There can be various kind of rescues. There can be dog can be injured in a road accident, or dog baby in the shop. The dog has been ran over by the car, or dog has been hit by some people, or it's been burned by some people. So you need to have a basic first aid kit to treat the dog on the spot as an emergency measure, because most of the dogs go into shock. They are very much frightened, so you need to have some dexamethasone or some injection, which any vet will tell you what injections to carry, basic injection, and try to at least learn a basic injection, how to give a basic injection. I am not saying you learn how to give intravenous injections or drip or something like that, but basic injection which will take care of a pet and prevent the further damage to the pet. So I would suggest you make a kit saying some homeopathy medicines like arnica or something, which will act as a painkiller, as well as basic to prevent the shock. You can keep bandages, cottons, tourniquet. If the dog is bleeding a lot, maybe he's ran over by the car, he's got injured and he's bleeding, then you can put a tourniquet as we do for snake bites or something, and try to prevent the bleeding. Then some basic betadine liquid, some ointments, liquids, sprays for the magneted wounds, or there are some medicines which can be sprayed on the wounds on the dog. So in Danu, what happens is, we always, not in Danu, everywhere you see the dogs with injuries on the head, magneted wounds. Their dogs can't reach that place, and then they die in that. So what you can do is keep a basic medicine which you can pour on the spot, so that it will prevent a further damage, and you will help the dog in some way to stop the magneted wound infestation and damage to the dog. So if it's accidental injury, you try to first stop the blood flow. If it's injury is there and a lot of bleeding is happening, just put something, tie some bandage or tightly or somewhere above the bleeding area, so that you can stop the bleeding. Otherwise, the dog can die of bleeding itself, if not by anything else. If it's a spinal cord injury, you need to rush the dog to the vet. There's no other way of doing anything else. Then, if it's poisoning, then you can use some atropine or dexa. Atropine sulfate is a universal antidote for most of the poisons. So just keep atropine and dexa always in your kit, and you can really save the dog on time, rather than and without spending much time and wasting the much time from taking the dog to the vet. You can administer this thing at a time and give the animal some time to recover on the way. Always one this thing is you cannot, once the animal is healed or whatever, animal has been treated, you have to leave the animal at the same spot. You cannot just leave it somewhere else. That's a government rule. That's a basic rule of the government. जिधर से उठाया है उधर ही छोड़ना पड़ेगा. It's a crime to leave the animal anywhere else. So as Vivek said, there can be some issues with people in the vicinity. You have to tell them and nicely explain to them that okay, this animal has to be left. It is according to the rule of the government. And what I think is basically about cruelty to animals, we need to spread awareness from the young age also in the people, because what happens is I have seen many places where parents are hitting their dogs with the stones and everything. So the child is seeing that, and child also starts doing the same. If the parents are afraid of the dog unnecessary, then the child is also automatically going to get afraid of the dog or the animal, and it will pass the same thing to their children. So basically, we need to spread awareness in schools or colleges and tell people, like how there was a video about we had gone to some school, and I had taken my rescue dog. She's paralyzed. So, and children were first afraid to touch her and everything, but once she went to next to them, they realized that the dog is not ferocious. Even if she was looking ferocious, she was not at all ferocious, and they enjoyed playing with her and all. So if that fear is taken out of their mind from the beginning, that will slowly help changing the society. Basic symptoms of rabies, mostly the dogs dogs are disoriented. It's not always that there has to be, the dog has to be ferocious. There are two forms of rabies. One is dumb form and one is the ferocious form. So mostly ferocious form is not present in the domesticated dogs. There is always dumb form. So by the time the disease progresses, even the owners will not know that the dog has contracted rabies. So in the dumb form, what happens is ferocious form. So everybody will know the dog starts biting other dogs, and they will just go to anyone's compound, bite people, bite dogs, and they will be just running around without any this thing. There is no पानी का डर तुमको रहता नहीं है, as people say कि hydrophobia वगैरह. They basically what happens is their neck muscles are paralyzed, throat muscles are paralyzed, so they cannot drink or eat, and because of the paralysis, there will be always saliva coming out of their mouths, and they cannot close their mouth. So if you see a dog which cannot close his mouth and there's salivation, you can always suspect if it's a rabid dog, and he'll be a little bit disoriented. He won't listen to you, he won't react to you, or maybe he'll just charge at you. So prevent touching such animals. Maybe inform some experienced people or vet or something, so that the vet can decide, because it also may happen that the dog is not rabid, it's just got some mouth ulcers, and it will behave the same way. It will not be able to gulp, it will start salivating and everything. So let the vet judge. You don't go out to judge the dog and say कि अरे इसको rabies हो गया, put down कर दो, उसको ये कर दो, उसको मार के because a lot of people take the things in their hand and they kill the dog on the site when the dog has not got rabies. So that all should be prevented, and you need to take your safety into this thing also. Now I will talk something about the pets. As in rescue, you also need to be, if you want to adopt a pet, so for that also you have to be emotionally and financially ready. ऐसा नहीं है कि आज मैं डिसाइड किया मुझे शाम तक पेट चाहिए, किसी भी करके मुझे शाम तक पेट चाहिए, ऐसा नहीं होता. Lot of thought should go into it. First and foremost, you will need to spend some time with the pet once you buy a pet, because it will be a member of your family. Second thing is financially is going to be a little this thing on you. The vaccinations are there, food is there. It depends on what food, that is you can decide almost, but thoda sa to burden hoga if your pet falls sick. Then you have to take him to the doctor and not try because इतना डॉक्टर का बिल हो रहा है तो अभी नहीं परवड़ रहा है, ऐसा it cannot be that way. So just on the whim पे जाके उठा के किसी को लाने का मतलब नहीं है. And you also should consider the opinion of other family members in the family, because it so happens that एक को चाहिए रहता है तो people just I like the pet, I like a dog, so I got a dog, and other family members don't like the dog. So it so happens that after 2-3 months, because the dog is not getting adjusted, the person who has got the dog, he is no more, he is working somewhere or doing some other job. So other family members are not paying attention to it, and the finally dog goes for adoption. So that should not happen. It's about all the pets basically. I'm not talking about only dogs and cats, maybe birds or whatever. So now I have various kind of pets. It's not pet means always a dog or cat. There can be birds, there can be fishes, there can be hamsters, there can be guinea pigs, there can be fishes. So basically you need some space for the dog in your house. So you need to decide which pet is suitable for your house. You cannot just keep as you saw Saint Bernard, you can't keep a Saint Bernard in 2-bedroom flat or 3-bedroom flat. You need to have a big space for the Saint Bernard or any big breed to run around, have exercise. Otherwise the dog will be sitting and putting on weight, and it will start getting other issues of this thing, and it will start getting frustrated, and there will be some mental issues also. If you want to keep fishes, then you need to change water regularly, keep their water aerated. What kind of water, what temperature is the water? It's not just एक लाया fish tank लाते हैं उस fish को डाल दिया. Then you have to see that whether different fishes you are keeping, whether they are compatible with each other, because what happens is sometimes 2 different species are kept, and one type of fish just eats up the other fishes in the list. तो आज 4 फिश लाए हो, कल एक ही बचा है, बाकी तीनों को उसने खा लिया. ऐसा नहीं होना चाहिए. Even birds, you need to have, you can't keep them in a small cage. You need to give them proper cage, proper nesting, baby matka rakha, some boxes, nesting boxes or something like that. Give them varied food. You, if possible, try to leave them in the open environment. A lot of people leave their birds in the open environment once in a while. So you can do all those things. Then there are some pets which you cannot keep. There are some animals you cannot keep. They are banned by the government. Basically, birds, you cannot keep any indigenous bird except pigeons. Pigeons you can keep, but others you can't keep. Parrots. A lot of people do not know that they cannot keep parrots. It's illegal. You cannot keep a sparrow also in the house as a pet. Nothing, no other bird. You can keep exotic birds, but not Indian, but except pigeons. So just remember that you cannot keep snakes in the house. You cannot keep certain type of turtles in the house. So all this, find out which is illegal, which is legal, because a pet shop from where you are going to purchase all these pets, they are not going to tell you, because their intention is to sell the pet animal. So they are not going to tell you that. So before adopting any pet, deciding to adopt any pet, go to a vet, sit with the vet for 15 minutes, 20 minutes, and find out, discuss with them what kind of environment is suitable for which kind of animal, and then you go ahead with the decision. Like if you want to keep a dog, you just select the breed. You don't just randomly select the breed. You just there are always certain breeds which are kept only for guard dogs. Some are family dogs. Some are kept for hunting. Hunting, so we don't do over here. But these breeds have been specifically formulated to do certain amount of things. Now what happens is a lot of people on the farm, they keep Labradors because they think it's a guard dog. क्योंकि क्यों है तो पुलिस में है, वो जंजीर था, वो ऐसा था, वैसा था. अरे पुलिस dogs, Labradors are kept as a police dog only as sleepers and not for a guard dogs. If you want to keep a guard dog, keep a German Shepherd or a Labrador or a this thing Doberman or certain Rottweilers or something like that who are ferocious and who will help you in guarding. And guarding मतलब ये नहीं कि किसी को कोई आया अंदर तो उसको जाके काट लिया. This is not a guarding. A lot of people now tell Vivek, when Vivek is taking a training, उसको काटने को सीखा. This is not a part of a training. They should not be. They should just be able to frighten the people and not start biting the people. It will create a legal problems for the person owner also in smaller. And always when you keep a dog or something, you should always keep this thing outside your house or a bungalow that there is a dog inside. So because what happens is people unknowingly just enter the bungalow and the dog attacks it, bites them, and there will be issues with the police and all that. So after visiting a vet, you decide what kind of animal you want to keep. Then where to get a pet from, you don't, as far as possible, don't get it from a breeder. Don't get it from proper markets, don't get it from the markets where these animals are kept in small cages, dumped in small cages. Get them adopted from known people or known families where they've been raised in the family. Then there are always chances of they being healthy. And the second is by buying pets from certain markets and everything, or breeders, are encouraging a wrong practice. We're encouraging them to breed the dog every 6 months so that they can keep on selling the pups. So we don't want that. Whenever you want a dog's well-being also, you should be thinking of. So, and that one thing I want to do this thing. Then once you get a pet, immediately take it to the vet. Because what happens is a lot of people are told by the breeders or whoever they buy that abhi aisa karo, waisa karo, waisa karo. A lot of wrong information is given, and people do accordingly. The basic is when the dog is puppy is there, people tell them 3-4 महीने के बाद उसका first vaccination करो. ऐसा नहीं रहता है. Vaccination should be not 6 weeks of age, and the 3 महीने तक लोग बैठे रहते हैं घर पे, and the dog has already contracts half of the viral diseases. That should not happen. So just take it to the vet and find out what needs to be done immediately. Some supplements are needed for some breeds, supplements are not needed for some breeds. So all that your vet will tell you. Don't listen to 10 people around and try to do everything. Whatever is other people are telling you, vet is the person you need to do. Now how to find out that your dog is well or not? So basically once you are with the dog all the 24/7, you know that what are the activities of the dog, how much he eats, how much he plays, how much. So you will immediately notice the dog is not the same, your animal is not the same, not dog, cat, whoever it is playing less, eating less, थोड़ा डल हो गया, एक जगह पे बैठा रहता है, थोड़ा सा गर्म लग रहा है, बुखार है, थोड़ा. तो if you find something like that, do not try to do home remedies, because a lot of animals cannot tolerate human medicines. As in cats are not tolerant to aspirins and paracetamols and whatever stomach pain medicines. They will get severe reactions to those. And ऐसा आधा एक खिला दिया, मेरे कैट को मैंने एक क्रोसिन खिला दिया. अरे कैट कितना है? Cat is 2 kilos, you are 60 kilos, and you are giving your dose to the cat. So don't do all these things. Just take it to the vet. It will save your time, money, and it will save your animal also.